morning. If you're just joining me now, go ahead and grab your blocks, so 2 blocks, a blanket. Find a comfortable seat. I'm Anaïs. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sun and Moon's daily YouTube live stream. Today, our practice is going to be about expanding and contracting. I see a comment there. Let's see. Good morning, Susan and John. Hi there. And so this practice is really just a reflection of what we do every day as we go out into the world. We are forced to expand and absorb our experiences and the people we work with and learn from, and all the experiences that we absorb in day to day, kind of like a sponge, right? So we go out into the world and soak all these experiences up, and then by the end of the day, we might be feeling a little dried out or wrung out, and so we begin to contract. And then the next day, the cycle begins again and we expand. And then the end of the day, we contract. And so you can think of it sort of as a sponge in that way. And so this practice, the purpose of this practice is to be a little more intentional about that expansion and contraction, so that when we do go out into the world, we begin to cultivate expanding a little more intentionally, so absorbing those experiences a little more intentionally, and then contracting before we reach our limit. So coming back to our most basic being before we feel dried out or wrung out. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. You always have the option to find a comfortable seat as we get centered, but today I'm going to recommend that we start in an extended child's pose with wide legs. So to do that, you're going to come onto your heels. And then from here, let your knees come out to the side, just enough for your belly to come all the way down comfortably. And then spread your arms forward, creating lots of space here in the front body. And place your forehead gently on the ground. And from here, I want you to just lean into the bones. So take a moment to experience the weight, the heft of the bones, and allow gravity to do the work as the bones begin to ground down into earth, and the flesh around it begins to just melt. So allowing yourself to really feel grounded here. And then the first practice in expanding and contracting is simply breathing. And so here, you don't have to do anything at all. So let this be an effortless posture. Leaning into the bones, letting the flesh melt. Drawing the breath in, and then releasing the breath out. Allowing the breath to work its magic all on its own without any concerted effort. So once you're feeling grounded and easeful here, you can just observing the breath and noticing how as you inhale, the back body begins to expand. As you exhale, it contracts again, sort of creating like a safe cocoon, a sense of relief and respite as you release your breath and contract. And as you expand the lungs and breathe in, perhaps you absorb a sense of courage as the back body begins to grow, the lungs reach up towards the sky. The back body opens itself up, maybe even creating a little bit of traction in the spine with the breath, moving the vertebra, opening up those spaces between them. So do that a couple times at the pace of your own breath. Noticing again as you inhale the courage to expand all along the back body. Notice what moves in the back body to make space for the breath to come up towards the sky. And then allow yourself to melt as you contract, finding that place of safety and protection, release. All so that you have the courage to take one more breath as the cycle begins again. Do that just a couple more times. Really preserving your attention inside the body, allowing it to be as neutral, as observational as possible, without making any effort to change the way you're breathing, any effort to move the muscles. Just let it be. Eventually, after your next exhale, you can begin to walk your hands in. Let your tailbone anchor down as the lower back puffs up. Eventually, your spine begins to stack and you'll come all the way upright, seated on your heels. And then bring your knees together. Come onto your hands and knees here for table pose. And we'll do some easy movements here to continue warming up the spine. Bump your hips over to the right side as you look over your left shoulder. If anything feels good there as you expand along the right side, let it in. And then release as you come over to the opposite side, bumping your hips over to the left as you look over your right shoulder. Nice, easy breaths along the left side seam. And then swing back over to the first side. Hips go to the right. Your gaze goes over the opposite shoulder. Do that a couple times. Expanding and contracting the breath. Noticing how that brings space into the side bodies. And eventually come back to the middle, come back to neutral, and we'll do a couple cat-cows for good measure. So pressing the palms into the floor. Inhale, round the spine up towards the sky. Let your head and tailbone drop. Exhale, release the belly down as you scoop your chest forward, tailbone and chin lift. Inhale, press the floor away from you as you lift your spine up. And exhale, release the belly drops back down as your chest scoops forward. More times here. Letting your breath maybe even be audible. Taking nice, deep, audible breaths. Release that, come back to neutral back. Walk your hands back, come to sit on your heels for just a moment. Let's shake out the wrists. And then circle the wrists, really easy here, circling to the outside. And then to the inside. Wonderful. All right, bring your hands back down, coming back to table pose. We're going to lean into the bones again here as we strengthen a little bit. Okay, so imagining that you are a strong, solid building, strong, solid foundation here. You can weather any storm. So take a moment here to just feel that. Let the bones be heavy. Let gravity pull the weight of the bones down into the mat towards the earth. Nice and steady here. All right, and then working against gravity, slowly begin to lift your right arm and left leg. Working against gravity, letting the bones stay heavy here as you lift up. And you can lift them up straight, or you can keep the joints soft here. That might help if you're feeling any pinching in the shoulders or hips. All right, release that back down. Let's do it again on the other side this time. So grounding down one more time, letting the bones be heavy and solid here. And slowly begin to lift the left arm and right leg. Working against gravity, engaging the abdomen here. Again, you can go towards straight, or you can keep the elbow and knees soft. In that case, you might be coming out towards the side a little bit more, which is perfectly fine. Hold for just one breath, and then release really intentionally as slowly as you came up. Make your way back down. All right, let's do that again on the first side. Lifting up, right arm, left leg. Working against gravity here. Using the weight of your own body as a strengthening tool. And release back down. All right, another time on the second side. Again, either towards straight or out to the side, joints soft. And release back down. Beautiful. All right, once you've landed, come to sit on the heels again. One more time, shake, roll out the wrists. Since we're on hands and knees quite a bit here, and make your way back to table pose. This time, keeping the feet together, bring your knees out wide. All right. Let your hands come both to center, side by side here. And then ground down through the right palm, through both knees, and reach out to the left side with your left arm. Expanding the chest, finding lots of length along the inner side of the arms. Take a nice deep breath here, and as you contract the breath, release that hand back down. All right, coming over to the other side now. Press down through the knees in your left palm. And as you expand the breath, open out to the right side. Nice deep breath here, maybe even breathing into that shoulder and arm. And as the breath contracts, release the right hand back down. All right, continue side to side here a couple times. Expanding out to the side with your breath and contracting, releasing back down. Let's do one more time on each side. Lovely. All right. Let your knees and ankles come back back to the same train tracks again, so letting the shins come parallel as we would in a normal table pose here. If you have a long torso, I want you to bring your hands in a little bit closer to you for stability. Otherwise, you're going to keep your hands about underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then take your left palm forward, maybe 2, 3 palm prints. All right, stabilize through the knees and through that right palm. So pressing down into the right palm, shift your weight forward. Breathe into the right wrist. If it starts to feel like too much, just back off. Otherwise, lean into the stretch. And shift your weight back. Draw the left hand back where it started. Draw the right hand forward this time. Press down through the left palm and shift your weight forward. Nice deep breaths here as we open up the back of the wrists. And then coming back to center. One more time, come to sit on your heels. Shake out the wrists. Rolling them now to the outside. And then to the inside. Awesome. All right, back to table pose. From here, tuck your toes, lift the knees, press the chest in towards your thighs as you lift your hips up towards the sky. Keep the heels nice and lifted here to preserve length all along the back of the legs. And then just begin to walk out your dog. As you come up, really lifting the heels. Notice as you lift your heels a couple times coming from side to side. This can be as exaggerated as you want it to be. So you can really bend into the knees, sway the hips side to side. All right, and then pause somewhere in the center. Lift the heels, lift your hips. Nice deep breath here. Inhale as you expand the lungs. As you exhale, lower your knees, place them down gently on the mat, and scoop your chest all the way forward. All right, once you get to the top, flip the feet so that the tops of the feet are on your mat. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Engage the abdomen to keep the lower back safe. And just breathe. Nice deep breath. After your next exhale, tuck the toes, lift your knees, lift your hips up. Back to down dog. Heels are still high, hips are high. Inhale. Exhale, release the knees down and scoop your chest forward. Flip your toes. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, engage the abs. And push back. All right, a couple times at your own pace. Maybe bringing the knees down each time, maybe skipping it so that you come up to up dog, knees lifted. Just let your breath take you in and out of this motion. Here through the chest as you pull forward. Last time, lift back up to down dog. All right, pause here for just a moment. Get your bearings. And then begin to walk your feet forward, coming all the way up towards your hands. Go ahead and grab your blocks. Place them at the top of your mat on any height that feels good for you. All right, and you can actually leave them at the very top of your mat so that they're out of the way for a moment. Go ahead and clasp elbows, release your head down, and just sway side to side. Allowing the head, neck, shoulders to release fully down. Letting everything out. Any thoughts? Any conundrums? Anything from the morning that you just don't need going into the rest of the day? Let it just fall out the top of your head. Release it down. Then release your hands back down. Bring your blocks in towards you. Inhale, lift your head so that your spine comes about parallel to the mat. Let your knees stay soft here. No need to be rigid. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale, release down. Inhale, lift your head back up. Spine comes parallel to the mat. Exhale, release back down. Okay, a couple times. Let your breath guide this movement. Knees stay soft, but they can be energized as you come up, so you can play around a little bit with that. All right, the next time you come down, leave your head there, interlace your fingers behind you, and pull your arms up and away from your body. Nice. All right, from here, keep your knees soft and then straighten the right leg, drawing the right hip up towards the sky, and let your chest follow as you open out to the right side. Hands will come in the opposite direction as you continue pulling your hands away from your body. Then release, come back through center as you sweep over to the other side. Straighten the left leg and open your chest out to the left. Bend both knees, coming over to the right side now. Couple more times. Side to side here at your own pace. All right, let's do one more time on each side. Inhale, expanding the lungs as you open out to the side. And exhale, contracting, releasing back to center. Release down, place both hands on your blocks. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, release back down. This time, inhale, you're gonna reach all the way up as you come to standing. So firmly plant the feet down as you rise up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. One more time, inhale, reach all the way up. And once you get to standing, you can keep your arms reaching up. I'm gonna adjust here so you can see me a little better. Keep the arms reaching up. Let the shoulders be soft so they're falling away from the ears. As you exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Do that a couple times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release down. All right, the next time you come up, reach up. Really plant the right foot down as you reach up and over to the left side. Let the right ribs lift up towards the sky here. And then press through the right foot to come back up. Release your arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach your arms back up. This time, plant the left foot and reach over to the right side. Left ribs reaching up here. And inhale, back up through center. Exhale, release both arms down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold all the way forward this time. All right, let your knees be soft. Remove your blocks. Go ahead and come all the way down to your back. You're going to keep your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. All right, and from here, just some easy bridges. So as you inhale, lift the hips up, really pressing down through the back of the shoulders, lift the hips. Imagine the chest as it expands, creates lots of space in the front body. As you exhale, the breath contracts, you release back down. Inhale again, lifting the hips up. Let the chest be open, courageous, strong, filled with breath. And release back down. All right, try that a couple times at your own pace. Expanding the chest as the lungs expand. And releasing back down to that place of safety and security as the lungs contract. Awesome. All right, the next time you come down, pause there. And then go ahead and draw your knees in towards your chest. You can rock from side to side. If you could use a little happy baby, this is a great time before we settle in for Shavasana. So option to stay here or to bring your hands to the soles of your feet as your knees drop down, soles float up towards the sky, and rock side to side. All right, eventually let the legs float back down to the mat. Let the arms follow. Bring the feet to the outer corners of your mat. Let your arms rest by your sides, palms facing up or down. Just see what helps you release a little bit more into the mat. You can gently soften your gaze or close your eyes. Bring your attention back to your breath here. Inhale, allowing the lungs to expand, the front body to absorb all the nutrients and the benefits of this practice. And as the lungs contract, to just release, melt a little bit more into the earth, into your mat, into your being. Find courage in each breath. Courage in the inhale, shelter in the exhale. feet to your mat. Wiggle the toes and fingertips. And then pull your knees in towards your chest one last time. Roll side to side if it feels good, and eventually land on one side. And push yourself up to a seated position. You can put your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your head to your practice, to your body for being present and the vessel for this wonderful practice. And also in recognition of everyone who has practiced with us today. May our practice benefit others and continue to benefit ourselves. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a great day. I hope you continue to tune in every day at 10 a.m. and I hope to see you next week.